Hey, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to talk about some game-changing tips that you should be doing right now. These tips will help save you a lot of time and resources throughout your experience in Wuthering Waves, both for the early and mid-game, but also some more advanced things as well to help you build your characters better and help you progress faster. These are things that I've learned through playing the game extensively. I've genuinely been addicted recently, so I hope these tips will help you as much as they've helped me. Alright, so we're going to start this video off a bit more basic before we get into a bit more advanced things and talk about some ways to save you a ton of time and resources. The first thing I want to cover in this video is a gadget called the Loot Mapper. This gadget is one that you can place and it will immediately reveal any chests around you on the map in a wide radius around you. You'll see all these chests light up on your minimap. You can run towards them and find them very easily, and it will help you clear and explore certain areas much faster. Additionally, you can have up to 3 of them out at once, and crucially, they're very convenient to use because you can literally just remove them from the map by pressing M, clicking on your Loot Mapper, and removing it when you are done collecting all the chests in that area. In order to get this item, you need to go to the Pioneer Association right over here on the left side of Jinzhou, and as long as you are a level 1 Pioneer, the first unlock, which you get just by exploring a little bit of areas, right, and claiming the XP that you get from doing so, you will unlock this treasure gadget, the Loot Mapper, that will help you greatly. Additionally, while we're still on the topic of some basic things to help you get more resources, a tip that can help you save a lot of stamina is, first of all, as I mentioned in my other videos, farming bosses to not only ascend your characters, but also get some bonus XP mats. Very efficient to do generally speaking, but also a lot of ascension mats you need. You can get a big amount for free through different stores in the game. Notably, both the souvenir store and the weapon shop have a bunch of weapon and skill materials that you need to level your abilities and also your weapons. For example, my GN needs a lot of these wave-worn residues, and so does his weapon, and so does my Calcharo as well. They both need this one material that has been really annoying to get. I thought I would have to spend a lot of stamina on it, and then I realized that at least for the early game, for the first big chunk of them that I want, it is not efficient to spend my stamina on these weapon and skill materials, but instead buy as many as I can at these shops because it's effectively free. You don't have to spend stamina to buy them, just a little bit of currency, and it can help get you a head start and save a lot of early game stamina. Obviously, eventually you'll need more and you might have to farm for them, but for your first early levels, especially for your weapons and skills, these shops are a very useful resource. Now, with that out of the way, let's talk about echoes. Here are some tips to get some amazing echoes early on, as well as getting more value out of your echoes, and also talking about a really strong set that you should be using. First of all, I want to mention that you can get a few 5-star echoes very early on in the game. Not only can you get some through your guidebook by completing that, or through the higher difficulties of the tactical holograms if you can complete those, although they can be pretty challenging. What if I told you there was a way to get 2 5-star echoes of whatever damage bonus you want on its corresponding echo set, with this being a golden echo? In fact, in the Depths of Elusive Realms shop, you can get 2 sort of malleable echoes that will be 5 cost that you can access very early on from just clearing the first few floors, which you can do without being turbo leveled or geared. You just need to kind of know how the game mode works, pick good buffs, and abuse your echo skills while doing this event, and then buy these 2 sort of custom echo selectors where you can get, for example, an arrow damage bonus main stat on an arrow damage bonus set, or an electro one on an electro set, and so on and so forth, with the choice being up to you. You can literally pick which one you want. Just make sure you're not choosing wrong. As you can see, just from the description of the item that you buy, it'll tell you which echo does what, and then when you buy it, it'll have a guarantee to have a damage bonus main stat on its corresponding set. Me personally, I use this for my GN in order to get 2 pretty good pieces very early on. I got 2 very good arrow damage bonus golden echoes, legendary echoes, 5 stars, whatever you want to call them, both being 3 cost, having arrow damage bonus and attack as the main stats, and then the substats obviously are random, and I got relatively lucky on mine. This is a great way to get a head start, a good early 5 cost echoes, as soon as you can clear the first few stages of this piece of content and buy them from the Elusive Realm shop. Just be sure you're choosing the correct set for whatever attribute you want for whichever character you're trying to build. Don't choose the wrong one and you'll be guaranteed 2 solid 5 costs very early on. Oh, and if you're wondering, you can check your event tab. It'll be here once you unlock it. You'll just have to do a very short quest, fight some enemies, and then you'll unlock it to challenge and get your rewards. Moving on, regarding the data bank, this is something you want to be prioritizing, as I mentioned in my last tip video, but if you're wondering how to get more XP, how to level this faster, notably reaching level 15, where you can start getting 5-star echoes, the simple way is to just try to get not just every echo unlocked, but also getting them of the highest rarity that you can, which is going to be purple until you can get the gold ones. Now, where my sort of tips come in though are 2 things. First of all, you can track any of the ones you don't have, and then just kind of hunt them on the map for some free databank XP. And secondly, you can also make use of the data merge function, which is very useful to not only just recycle your bad echoes into better ones, especially later on at higher databank levels when you can actually get some 5-star ones, some gold echoes, as I'm probably going to here. Yep, we did. But even early on, while you can't unlock new echoes with this, you can get higher rarity echoes of ones you've already unlocked. So for example, if you only have like a green or blue zigzag and you use this data merge feature, you can get a purple or even a gold one provided your data bank is high enough level. This can be good to try to rush getting data bank level 15 or just get more XP in general. Now moving on the topic of echoes, something you really need to understand with Wuthering Waves as a whole is that there are a lot of animation cancels you can do by swapping. You can swap cancel a lot of things like certain character animations, for example, some longer ones like Encore's Forte Heavy Attack, or just a lot of other character specific ones that you can find for the characters that you play. What I more want to talk about though is that for most echoes, you can swap cancel them. A lot of echoes that you'll equip on your characters, you'll notice that they have a relatively long and clunky animation. If you use it and as soon as the hit goes off, you swap out and start attacking on your other character, you can still get the benefits of your echoes, get the echoes damage, while not having to waste time on your active character, also potentially being vulnerable, instead being on someone else, using their abilities and cycling through your characters that way. It saves you a lot of time and will allow you to do a lot more damage. Now, a big disclaimer here though is that you can't always just press your echo and then swap out. The reason for this is because each echo has a different animation and will do something differently. Some echoes are a lot easier to swap cancel than others, and you kind of need to wait for certain cues. For example, certain echoes are very easily swap cancelable. They're what people commonly refer to as swap cancelable echoes, meaning that you press your active echo, you make sure it hits the enemy, and effectively as soon as you press it, you swap out and then the animation continues. This is the case with the arrow monkey or even Dreamless. Just make sure that you're actually hitting the enemy with your echo. For example, on my GN, I'm running the monkey as my active arrow, and if I just press Q and swap out way too fast, then nothing will happen. Whereas if I press it, wait like a split second, just make sure it comes into contact with the enemy, then the monkey will do its follow-up second hit, and then I can swap cancel it very easily and save so much time in my rotation. With that in mind, there are echoes that are less swap cancelable, notably multi-hit echoes, and for these, while you can still animation cancel the last hit or whatever hit you swap out of after using it, because these echoes require you to use your echo button, your Q keybind, multiple times in a row and will only buff you after the last hit, generally speaking, they can be a bit more annoying to cancel. For example, the Thundering Mephis, the Electro Echo, will hit 6 times with your character only getting the buff after the last hit. Because of this, if you use it once or twice and then swap out, you won't get buffed and you'll effectively only swap cancel its second hit. In order to get its full value, you'll have to do 5 full hits, and then on the 6th one, as the animation starts, that's when you can swap out to make sure you actually get its full animation, not a very swap cancel friendly echo. On the contrary though, an echo like the Monkey Set or Dreamless or Flautist, you can literally just press it, make sure it comes into contact with the enemy and swap out almost instantly, and then get its full value, all the damage and or buffs almost instantly, swapping out, moving on to your next character, and not having to worry about the echo you just used, saving you a ton of time by swap canceling it. Keep in mind that in a lot of content, these fast and swap cancelable echoes are meta and are the strongest, but there are situations where multi-hit echoes can be good as well, especially if you don't have better options or just really want the buffs, because a lot of these sets, like notably the Inferno Rider, will give you a pretty sizable buff if you can make sure to get its final hit off. In this case though, for another example with the Inferno Rider, you have to actually do 1 slice, 2 slice, and then as the 3rd long attack starts, that's when you can swap cancel, whereas if you just try to swap cancel it after the first hit, you won't be buffed. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind when you are swapping, make sure whatever animation you're going for actually starts and goes off, with a lot of these strong echoes being very easily swap cancelable, like Dreamless, where you just press it and can almost immediately swap out, provided it just starts hitting the enemy. Lastly, as far as echo builds go, again, this will be the topic of another video, and honestly, it's a very character by character thing. I want to say that one echo set that I used as just a generic sort of slap on active echo effect to help me clear some of the harder challenges against the bosses where you literally get one shot if you make a mistake is this set that I put on my healer. The set is on this big turtle, the Bellborn Chelone, a set that you have access to very easily. This echo has an incredible active. What it does is many things. First of all, when you press it, it comes out really fast, which is a big upside. Then what will happen is a few things. First of all, it'll do a bit of damage scaling on your defense, which is whatever, and then it will give you a shield that will last for 15 seconds or until you're hit 3 times. What this shield will do is not only give you a 10% damage boost, which is great, but will also give you 50% damage reduction. Now, if this was only for the character that equips this, it wouldn't seem that good. However, this is for all of your team members. That means that if you use it on your healer, your Verena or Baiji, or just any support character you're using that doesn't even need to be well built, just having this as their main echo in their active slot, using it and then swapping to your DPS, they will gain a damage bonus for free on top of also gaining 50% damage reduction. Now, while this may not seem like much in content where you just care about your damage or are racing against the clock, in some of the harder pieces of content, like some of the tactical holograms, it can actually help save your life quite a lot. Now, obviously, if you're incredibly talented, you can just dodge every hit or parry everything, and personally, that's what I was doing a lot of the times. But then I discovered this echo, and it made me go from always getting instantly one shot from the boss, or sometimes two shot if I'm lucky, to being able to actually tank a hit if I mess up, giving me some room to heal back up and sometimes get away with making a mistake, at least for the somewhat earlier difficulties. I'm not saying the echo will straight up carry you, and I'm not saying that it's game breaking, but it definitely is a nice, really easy to use echo. It can be +0, it can be on a healer that may not need the most stats. You literally just slap it on, with this echo actually having a very short animation, a short cast time, giving you a shield with a huge amount of damage reduction, and also damage bonus, which is relevant even if you aren't taking damage, because a free 10% damage to whatever character you're using is really important, because as I said, this isn't just for the character equipping it, but will also work on the other characters that you're swapping into. And so I at least wanted to recommend this echo if players are wondering what they should use on their lesser built supports, or even built ones, just a echo set you can use very easily on a support character. This one can be a good consideration if you want a bit of damage reduction and a damage bonus very seamlessly without really needing to do anything. I'm not saying it's the absolute best set, especially like late game or anything. I don't know, we're not there yet, but for now, I found that it can be a lifesaver in some harder content. Oh, and also another thing about this active echo is that as far as I'm concerned, it can come on two support sets, the energy set and the healing set, both of which will actually buff you, or rather buffing your other party members, with the energy set giving 22% to the next character you swap into after your outro skill, and the healing set giving all of your party members 15% attack, making this echo even better if you can make use of the set. But even without it, the active is mostly what I wanted to talk about. Oh, and also I thought I should mention that as another supportive echo active you can use even without like leveling it or anything, the Impermanence Heron gives you a damage buff to the next character you swap into after using your outro skill, 12% damage bonus for free on top of some energy, so pretty good overall as another choice. Lastly, I wanted to say not to neglect 4-star characters, as a lot of them can actually be quite good having synergies with other characters or even being strong carries, like Mortify, Sanhua, and others that I might make a dedicated video on, so leave a comment if you want to see that. Characters that I think most people should be building, universally strong options or good main DPS choices, 4 stars in particular, going into more detail on which characters are strong and why that is the case. With that in mind, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope these tips are helpful. For me personally, I know that they've saved me a lot of time and resources as I've discovered them through playing, or just made me straight up clear certain pieces of content. Like with the echo stuff, I hope it helps you clear some pieces of content that you might not have been able to otherwise, or just makes you stronger. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be streaming live on Twitch most nights, link in the description if you're interested. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to, as it does help me out. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.